Good afternoon and welcome to the 4 to 5 on this Friday edition. I'm Chad Silber. That's Sydney Moore.
Yeah. We're
glad to hear it today. And look at beautiful sky out today.
I know, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I had a nice little walk this morning, put me in a good mood.
And Eric Chilton is going to have your weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. But first, the big story that everyone's going to be talking about this weekend. Greensboro drivers need to be aware of a major road closure starting in just a few hours. Starting at 9 p.m., a section of I-40 East will close for a resurfacing project.
The work is expected to last all weekend. WFMY News 2's Hannah Jeffries is live on I-40 with detour information you need to know.
That's right, Sydney, Chad. NCDOT crews have already put out the equipment to close the roadway later on tonight. Now all they have to do is move the signs and the cones, shutting down this highly traveled road that's going to cause drivers to take some detours. Take a look. Everything between exit 212A and exit 227 will be closed. That stretch starts right before the PTI exit on 40 and goes all the way to the 4087 split. NCDOT crews need the weekend to mill out old asphalt and repave the road. Several businesses sit off the exits included in the closure. Chase Lewis owns Swivel Barber Shop. He worries the closure will impact the flow of business through the weekend.
The weekends are our busiest weekends. We have most of our barbers are appointments only on the weekend. So then we have a high walk-in traffic on the weekend also. So it just kind of makes things very stressful, especially with the highway being shut down. I'm kind of nervous about all of our appointments kind of being late, trying to find a new route to get to the shop. So it's going to be interesting.
Now, no doubt about it, it will take you more time this weekend if you planned on going through Greensboro using I-40 East, but there are other routes and detours that you can take. For example, if you're coming from Winston-Salem and traveling east, you can hop on the southern portion of the urban loop. It will take drivers east by using I-85 north and I-73 south. For now, live in Greensboro, I'm Hannah Jeffries, WFMY News 2.
Hannah, thank you. And just to clarify, this part of the traffic update is also important to note. There is a portion of 40 East within this closure that only local drivers can access. So I-40 East will be open to local traffic only between exit 213, which is Guilford College Road, and east 218 and exit 218A, which is Freeman Mill Road. If you're trying to drive east through Greensboro, however, you will not be able to do so until Monday morning.
Yeah, so when I first saw all of this, I immediately did think about business owners and just kind of what that owner just said, that he's, obviously worried that it's going to impact his, weekends, because weekends can be really busy. But just kind of like he's saying, hopefully folks who do have appointments with these businesses are able to tackle this early so they know what kind of alternative routes to be able to take.
It's amazing. I've never seen almost the entire section of Greensboro I-40 blocked off.
Right.
So this is unprecedented, but you got to do it.
It's kind of surprising, honestly, that we didn't get more of a heads up about it, because it is so big. But I mean, at least, we have a few hours that hopefully you don't get caught in it. And if you're watching, you know that you'll have to go around it.
Now you know.
Now you know. And hopefully the weather is good so they can get all this out of here.
Oh, this weekend is beautiful. Let's talk about it. In fact, it's really probably the best couple of days in a row we've seen in a while. And a lot of that is due to the lower humidities out there. Let's talk about temperatures first. It's still warm, right? We're at 90 in Winston-Salem, 86 Greensboro, 91 in Burlington, Asheboro and Lexington at 89. Wilkesboro has 86 degrees right now. And if you look broader with our temperatures here, we're going to 90 in Reedsville and Walnut Cove and 91 at RDU Airport. So it's toasty out there. Winds are helping. If you notice today, a little bit more of a breeze, right? We had winds 5 to 10, in some cases 10 to 15. So that gives a little bit of help to this. But the cold front is on the way and it will drop our temperatures. In fact, tonight's low, in the past few nights, we've been talking about some low 70s and we're at 66 tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, really nice. This is when the lower humidity comes in, courtesy of a cold front that'll be working its way through. We don't really see anything in the way of rain right now. You have to go all the way back to western parts of Tennessee and maybe around Memphis to see a shower or a thunderstorm. The cold front will be moving across our area as we head into the overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, lower humidity. Remember the clockwise flow of winds around that high, and that'll bring our winds out of the northwest, and that's a lower humidity flow. We like that. We want to keep that for a while. We've got 66 degrees for the low tonight. The high tomorrow at 84, not as humid, and an absolutely beautiful weekend. Our 7-day forecast showing mid-80s for Saturday, Sunday, and reduced rain chances, if any at all. 40% on Monday with 86, and we're back to the upper 80s for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are normal 30% chances of showers there for Thursday and Friday, and highs build to 90 by the end of next week.
Eric, thank you. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. We are learning new details about the man accused of locking a missing girl in a Davidson County shed. George Camacho pleaded guilty in court to 1 count of a statutory sex offense with a child, statutory rape, and first-degree kidnapping. The plea carries a maximum sentence of 29 years in prison. You'll remember earlier this year, the Davidson County Sheriff's Office arrested Camacho after they say he groomed a 13-year-old girl from Dallas online. Investigators say he met the teenager and abducted her. Deputies worked with the FBI to track down where the teen and Camacho were in Davidson County. The sheriff says they found the missing girl in a locked shed at a home on Linwood Southmont Road. The DA says he entered an offered plea, which is a guilty plea, but doesn't admit to the crime. No word on when he will be sentenced.
Police say 4 people were shot, including 2 kids, in a drug-related incident last night in Greensboro. Police responded to Bryce Street, where it happened. A 42-year-old man died, and a 20-year-old is in critical condition. Police say a 15 and 16-year-old were also wounded. Chief John Thompson responded to the case while in our studio this morning.
We don't believe that there's any concern for the community. Unfortunately, these situations, like many, we feel that the individuals involved have some type of relationship, know each other, which typically leads to the dispute and unfortunately the violence.
Meanwhile, over in Winston-Salem, police are searching for a suspect in a deadly shooting on 17th Street. It happened just after midnight. Investigators say there was a shootout between the suspect and the victim. They say the suspect was treated and released from a hospital before officers could arrest them. It comes on the heels of law enforcement in Forsyth County calling for an end to the violence.
The High Point teenager accused of peeping and sexual battery now faces another charge. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office says Nori Staton is now charged with stalking. It's unclear where this new charge stems from. High Point police have charged Staton with several crimes going back 3 months. His most recent arrest was last weekend. Officers say he exposed himself at a condominium pool. 10 High Point businesses have banned Staton for his behavior. A federal judge has set a trial date for former President Trump in the case involving classified documents. It won't be until next May. Trump is facing 37 felony counts related to the mishandling of classified documents, obstructing justice, and making false statements.
A legal fight over Taco Tuesday is over. Wyoming-based fast food chain Taco John says it will no longer defend its federal trademark of the phrase. It comes 2 months after rival Taco Bell filed a petition to challenge the trademark, claiming it wanted to, quote, liberate the phrase for restaurants nationwide. The dispute, however, continues in New Jersey, where a restaurant vows to keep fighting for the exclusive right to Taco Tuesday promotions in that state. So, should Taco Tuesday be trademarked?
No.
I know.
It's like, what would it be like? Sunday Fun Day. You
Right.
can't trademark that kind of stuff.
Right, because it's just kind of all over. I mean,
Yeah.
and also too, when I think of Taco Tuesday, I think of, you know, restaurants, like sit down type of taco type
Yeah.
restaurants as well too. So this came to a surprise to me.
I mean, people will file lawsuits, will do over really dumb stuff. And this is another example of that.
So do you go out specifically for Taco Tuesday?
No, I don't. Typically because on Tuesday we're working, right? And I
that's
tend to
true.
follow a pretty strict diet plan during the week, so
Oh, that's good.
tacos are never involved,
Oh, well,
unfortunately.
that's good. Maybe they might have some sort of healthy option.
Well, speaking of restaurants, how well do you inspect your receipts when you're at one? A viewer emailed our Verify team saying a local restaurant charged them a service fee.
They want to know whether restaurants can add service fees to the bill. Megan Bragg verifies.
Viewer Crystal S. sent us this email saying, my friend and I made a reservation at Leah & Louise. Upon being informed of the menu, we were told there was an automatic $40 fee added to our bill to offset the cost of workers' health care and investment options. They went on to say this fee was not inclusive of a tip, but added regardless. So Crystal wanted to know, can a restaurant mandate such a fee and charge you regardless of your preference? Let's verify. Our sources, Leah & Louise Restaurant, attorney Gary Monty, partner at Monty PLLC, and North Carolina Administrative Code. We reached out to the restaurant. They told us what our viewer Crystal is referring to is called the Bay Haven Pledge, which is a 23% service fee on all orders, with the money helping support staff to earn a livable wage. Tipping is not required, but appreciated. They went on to say servers are supposed to tell customers about the fee before they order. However, within the past 2 weeks, the restaurant has stopped adding that service fee because they say diners were more accepting of it during the pandemic, but are now less receptive.
Attorney Gary Monty tells us restaurants can certainly charge a service fee, but they should be upfront about it.
And in fact, the North Carolina Administrative Code requires a sign making customers aware of the service charge. They also mandate that this separate fee must be broken out as a discrete item on the bill. It can't be folded into the price of the food and drinks. And they say any such charge would not count as a tip to the server or staff. So we can verify that yes, a restaurant can mandate an additional fee as long as they are upfront about the service charge. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brown.
Wowzers.
So they can do it, but you don't have to pay it.
I just make sure that you know about it
Yes.
before you get the bill, because then you will have to pay for it.
Because you will see me walk into my car.
I mean,
Not gonna pay.
$40,
I
that
know.
is wild.
If it was $10 fee or maybe even 15, but 40 is excessive, I think.
Yeah, I've never had this happen to me before while on a restaurant in regards to the service fee. So yeah, shocker.
I think oftentimes, at least when I've seen it, it's been in bigger cities, more liberal cities. I was in Minneapolis recently visiting my sister, and like all of the restaurants and bars have this.
They do.
And they don't tell you about it ahead of time because it is so prevalent. It's like an assumption. Like you should know already that this is going to be part of your bill. It's not a huge percentage, but it's definitely on there, and that's what it's for.
For folks who may come out of town too, though, who might
And
not even.
I was
Everybody
never
and anybody.
told. I was never told once ahead of time that it existed.
Wow.
My sister was the one who was like, by the way, just be aware.
How much was it, do you remember?
It was a small percentage, but maybe $2 or $3 everywhere we went. But
that's
I mean,
not a
Yeah,
problem.
I mean that. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean,
that's-
like they're not. I mean, they wouldn't tell you there. So I mean, I don't know
interesting.
about this story, but yeah.
We'll see.
We'll be
All right,
back.
take a break. one of America's most celebrated crooners has died. Tony Bennett's publicist announced that he passed away this morning at the age of 96. Daniel Bacchus takes a look back at his life.
I left my heart in San Francisco.
Tony Bennett may have left his heart in San Francisco, but his road to fame started in New York.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Anthony Dominic Benedetto was born in Queens in 1926. He started singing as a child and eventually got a job as a singing waiter. But his big break came in 1949 when Pearl Bailey asked him to open for her. Sitting in the audience was Bob Hope, who was so impressed he took the young singer under his wing.
He said, "What's your real name?" I said, "Anthony Dominic Benedetto." He said, "Well, that's too long for the marquee." He said, let's Americanize it and call you Tony Bennett."
Taking a chance on love.
Tony Bennett went on to have a string of hits in the 50s and 60s.
I walk along the street of sorrow.
And spent the next decades performing to sold-out crowds.
That lovely day.
Although the old standards were Bennett's specialty, he always stayed close to pop culture.
Now you know, guys, this is MTV.
It's Tony Bennett.
Hey, good to see you.
But music was not his only talent. Bennett also became a respected painter, using his real name, Benedetto.
When I get just a little tired of singing, I paint. And when I get tired of painting, I sing.
Anything goes.
In his later years, Bennett recorded duets with popular artists like Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse, attracting a younger generation of fans. In 2021, Bennett's family revealed the legendary singer was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease 4 years earlier, but had chosen to keep the diagnosis a secret. Bennett's wife explained why to CBS This Morning's Gail King.
He always likes to say he's in the business of making people feel good. And so he never wanted the audience to know if he had a problem. But obviously, as long, as things have progressed, it becomes more and more obvious when you interact with Tony that there's something up.
How do you keep...
Bennett's career spanned 7 decades, earning him 20 Grammy Awards. He performed to audiences in cities around the world, but he'll forever be linked to one.
San Francisco.
Danya Bacchus, CBS News.
Will shine for me.
His voice is so soothing.
Lady Gaga said that he literally saved her life because they were so tight and so close, and that he was a good confidant for her and helped her get through a lot of things. Frank Sinatra called him the greatest crooner. So in Frank Sinatra's opinion, he was the best. Wow. That's a lot. That says a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad that the piece touched on how, he in his later years he worked with Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse and really became somebody new to a new group of audience, right? Because I mean, as someone who was as old as he was, for young people to know who he was, it's kind of difficult to cross over into, like a younger crowd of people, but I think having them really exposed him and exposed young people to him.
That TV special he did with Lady Gaga was on his 95th birthday, and he sang with her.
Wow. I'm looking at some of the clips too here
Yes,
behind.
and they said that his wife said that during that, even Lady Gaga, I saw an interview today, I watched this whole thing on it. They both said that there were times when he didn't know who people were, but as soon as he got the microphone and the curtains open, it was on. Like that was just innate. Yes.
That's amazing.
96 years old. We'll be right back. So nice when you can deliver some good news for a change on the weather front instead of us talking about stormy weekends. You know, we went through that a month or so ago where every weekend it would storm and then it'd be beautiful during the work week. Just the opposite now. We're heading into a great couple of days for Saturday and Sunday. Look at temperatures going to the upper 70s by 9 p.m., some lower 70s by 2 a.m., but we really think we'll bottom out around 66 degrees tonight. It's going to be very comfortable tomorrow morning. The best news, lower humidities. High pressure to the north will take care of that, and it'll usher in that drier and lower humidity region of air. And with that clockwise flow around that high, that'll continue through Saturday and Sunday with very little rain chance. In fact, we'll keep it at more like a 20% chance for the weekend each day, and I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. I think this is going to be a fairly dry weekend. 84 for Saturday. We do build at a degree or so every couple days, but 86 Sunday. Monday's the best rain chance. That's a 40% with a high of 86. We're back to the upper 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 20% chance of a shower Tuesday, Wednesday. That's a dry couple of days. And then the normal 30% normal summertime late day shower or storm on Thursday, Friday, with highs going 89 Thursday and 90 on Friday.
A growing number of millennial and Gen Z women are choosing not to become parents. Naomi Rookham explains the many factors leading to that decision and why the shift is happening now.
Cecile Palacios is in a committed relationship, has a successful fitness career, and at age 40 does not plan to have children.
We as women are able to live fuller lives in general, and I think that that's why the child-free movement is happening.
Social media topics like childless by choice,
motherhood is not for everyone,
are getting lots of likes from like-minded people. A 2021 Pew Research Center survey shows Palacios is not alone. 44% of non-parents ages 18 to 49 say it is not too likely or not likely at all that they will have children someday, up 7 percentage points from 2018 survey. Reasons for not having children range from medical and financial to concerns about the state of the world and the environment, and most simply say they just don't want to.
No one can afford kids. That's a big thing. Affording children is really, really hard.
Experts say choosing not to have children is becoming more socially accepted, in part because the family makeup is changing. Dr. Paula England is Dean of Social Science at NYU Abu Dhabi.
For decades and decades, there was an assumption that to be an adult in our culture, you had to be married and you had to have kids. And I think that assumption is kind of falling away.
It's a welcome shift for many Gen Z and millennial women like Palacios.
Even though I've seen wonderful examples of motherhood, I think not enough space is held for there being more than one kind of definition of a woman.
Palacios has carved out her own space and hopes every woman can choose theirs.
So the recent Census Bureau data also found that as of 2021, 25% of 40-year-olds in the U.S. had never been married, and that is up from 20% in 2010.
All right, two things I want to say real quick on this. One thing is I always knew I wanted kids, but if someone told me 20 years ago I was going to have 4, I would have laughed in their face. But I have 4 children and wasn't expected all that. But I respect people who say, I'm not the type to have children, because you're doing a horrible disservice to a human life if you have a baby and you don't really love being a parent.
Yeah.
Because that child didn't ask for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And many people do have their own fundamental reasons. And I think a big one too that the lady mentioned here, financial reasons as well too, health reasons too. So there are different specific and personal reasons why some women choose to not have any children.
I respect people for making that. If you don't want kids, do not have them. That's okay.
That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I don't want kids, but I love that the stigma is really kind of going away. Now, I am a guy, so it's different. You know, I feel like women are definitely more pressured into going about that traditional lifestyle, but I'm glad that you can just kind of make your own decision for your own life and your own family, and you don't have to feel pressured into anything as much as it used to be.
You made a good point too. I mean, things are different nowadays. Times are changing so much. You know?
Families aren't all together all the time. They're always all over the country, you know? I mean,
Right.
it's just kind of the way it is.
That too.
All right, we'll take a break. We're coming right back.
Yeah, Michaela. Yeah, let's do it. Mike, check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric, Chad, and Sydney with you today. I paused for a half a moment because I looked at our teleprompter and I just saw the 2 words "flying taxis" that you were about to read about, and
I'm looking forward to
what in the world?
understanding more what that is about.
Right, it's like the Jetsons, right?
Yes. Right.
So I heard that we hit 90 degrees today.
Yep.
Another day in a row. You might have seen on my social media pages, I did hot gardening instead of hot yoga today. It was hot out there.
I'll bet you did. Your one tomato plant? Was that
Charlie, yeah. And then the
Little
rose
Charlie.
bush.
Well, not little.
Right, and Charlie now has offspring, so there's like a random tomato plant now.
They grow up so fast.
They grow up so fast.
They're like the bunnies from earlier in the week.
Right,
Just doing what bunnies do.
Tomatoes.
Okay, so coming up, again, we're talking about these talking flying taxis. We're actually just talking about flying taxis. Don't worry, they're not talking. But first, a local university is making history. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey was at Elon for the historic day.
It was a big day at Elon as the university did something today that they've never done before. It introduced Jen Strawley as the first ever woman to serve as athletic director in the 134-year history of the university.
I'm just incredibly humbled and really excited to begin this next journey.
After an 11-year stint at the University of Miami in several different roles, Jennifer Strawley comes to Elon not looking to make history, but to help grow Phoenix athletics.
I'm proud to be able to serve in that role. I think the most important piece is just to have leaders who can set the course and establish the direction to continue to move the institution forward.
Although Strawley is focusing on the future, she is the first woman to be named athletic director in the more than 100-year history of Elon athletics. In the Coastal Athletic Association, the conference Elon calls home, there are 4 other women that wear that title.
I'm just excited to partner with them and to partner with all the athletic directors within the CAA to continue to advance both athletically and academically. You know, I've just been really fortunate in my career to have had fantastic mentors that have helped shape who I am and position me, and I hope that in some small way maybe I can set an example for the next generation of women as they continue to chase their dreams as well.
Now, the CAA has 14 member schools, 5 of which, including Elon, now have women who serve as athletic director, and that number ties the conference with the MEAC for the most in the Division I college sports realm.
Well, just to piggyback what she's saying, I think this is really great, especially for those Elon students, female athletes who are able to see this and pave the way, because maybe they have dreams of their own to become an athletic director of some sort at their own next steps
It doesn't
in
even
life.
sound odd to me. You know, I mean, it's just like, so what?
Right.
It's great. I mean, it's the way it should be.
It's like when we're seeing now, female referees in major sporting events, coaches of NFL teams. It's nice to see the playing field is being leveled a bit here, but at the same time, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, it seems normal to me.
And I think, so I'm going on a sidebar here, and Jalen can probably back me up if he remembers this, but I think one of the high schools, I want to say Northern, but I'm not sure, had a female kicker on the football team. And I remember seeing her kick a point after a touchdown.
You're absolutely right. It was Northern Guilford. The last time I checked, they were the most recent school that had a young lady as a kicker to serve as the kicker on the football
I loved it because
team.
I was there at the game. I thought it was so cool.
But I want to touch on something Sydney said, right? Because Jen Strawley was a former college athlete. She played softball at the University of Penn. And so when you said that the other young ladies could look up to her and see themselves as that in the future, that's a perfect example because, I mean, once she was a college athlete and now
she had those dreams of her own.
And now she's running the show over to Elon.
That's good.
That's cool. Very nice. All right, let's talk about a forecast that looks really nice as we head into the weekend, talking some of the best humidity levels, really, if people just want to go with that we've seen. Even temperatures will get cooler as we drop to the mid-80s for Saturday and Sunday. No arguments there. 91 in Burlington and High Point right now, still kind of steamy there. 90 in Lexington. Asheboro, you have 88. But look at Troy, Montgomery County, and then also if you head down toward Pinehurst, 94 and 93. Yeah, we don't want it that hot, do we? Let's look at wind gusts today because this actually helped. I was out and about in the middle part of the day today, and the wind really helps to reduce that temperature just a bit. Maximum wind gust recorded at Greensboro was 24 miles per hour, but if you look back to the mountains, Boone had a 33-mile-an-hour wind gust, so that'll make it feel nice and cool. 66 will be that low tonight. That is comfortable with clear skies. Partly sunny for your Saturday and Sunday, so basically just sunny to partly cloudy is kind of the best way to term that, but mid-80s with tomorrow being the coolest day of the next 7 as we top top out at 84 degrees. You can see a little rain trying to make its way here, but probably won't do so until Monday. There's a ridge of high pressure kind of blocking all that, but high temperatures go from 84 and 86 for Saturday, Sunday with reduced rain chances. In fact, I don't think we'll see much in the way of rain at all. Monday's our better chance at a 40%. That's a late day pop-up just like all of these are. And then we build to the upper 80s where we're supposed to be really for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Rain chances back to a normal 30% for Thursday, Friday, topping out at 90 by Friday of next week.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, there is a major road closure in Greensboro this weekend you need to know about. Starting tonight at 9, DOT is shutting down I-40 East from exit 212 to exit 227, several miles long. It's for a resurfacing project. The closure begins at 9 p.m. and will last until early Monday morning. Drivers should use 85 North, 73 South, or the Urban Loop to get around it. It's important to note a stretch of I-40 East will be open for local drivers only. Detour signs will be posted.
The tornado that tore through Nash County could lead to nationwide drug shortages. The twister ripped the roof off a Pfizer manufacturing plant. The facility produces nearly a quarter of all sterile injectables like anesthesia and other medicines in U.S. hospitals. Pfizer says it's having a hard time surveying the damage because the facility is hazardous. The company said they'll have an update tomorrow.
The Boston Market on Friendly Avenue in Greensboro closed on Tuesday without warning. It caps off a months-long situation where employees say they dealt with constant payroll and product delays. The general manager told us he only got the call Tuesday morning that the store was closing that day. The corporate office responded to us in a statement writing they continuously evaluate performance and make decisions to close or stay open.
All right, AMC Theaters is ditching its plan to charge more money for better sightline seating or middle row seating. The nation's largest movie theater chain said the move is meant to keep prices competitive, noting that rivals had not followed their lead. AMC tested the plan in 3 locations and found virtually no change in low demand for front row seats despite a lower price. The company says it will now pivot to testing spacious front row reclining seats in select theaters later this year. So where's you all's favorite spot in movie theaters?
I mean, everybody wants to be front or center and middle, but
Right.
I like it in, I guess the Regal Cinemas at Friendly I'm thinking about. And they have one big section and then the row where you can walk and then that elevated next section. I like to be on that front row.
The elevated next section?
Yeah, and the seats that recline and all that.
Is it so you don't have like an obstructed view so people's heads aren't in the way?
And you have like leg room.
Yep, that's a good spot.
So I know people who don't prefer the middle row seating. I know people who prefer to be way up at the top for safety reasons because basically you can see everybody, you know exactly where the exit signs are, just taking a more cautious perspective. But yeah, I know folks who like to sit way up there.
That's interesting. Have you ever been forced to take the front row? Because that's miserable.
Oh, that front row.
You're like, so
and then
horrible.
if it's like an IMAX theater,
Yes.
oh my
But what
goodness.
I have found out that though, if it's a good movie, I have forgotten that it is that close up to me because I'm
It's that
so
good.
indulged in the movie. Exactly.
Do you remember Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney?
I've never seen it, but I know it.
Okay, incredible movie, but the special effects in it, and I saw it in IMAX, and we were forced to the second row, and it made us almost sick because it's like you're in space and it's all this 3D spinning around, and yeah, so that was not a good experience. But I love that movie. Love that movie. I gotta go take my anti-nausea medicine. We'll be right back. Wine and music, two things that North Carolina has a love affair with. Well, there is a big concert next Saturday, not this one, but the next, that not only celebrates those things, but also Richard Petty and Victory Junction Camp. I spoke with Kyle Petty earlier today about what we can expect.
Kyle, thanks for taking time out today, man. We appreciate this. You know, I know music is in your blood as much as racing, and this is really cool. Tell us about this concert.
My dad has a new wine. Shelton Vineyards has started the wine. They're producing the wine. It's called Icon Wine. It's got my dad's logo on the front. I think there's a bottle right here over my shoulder. Product placement right there. So we're doing a launch on June 29th. Michael Kanzler's playing some music, and then I get to play some music. That's the only reason. I'm going for the wine and the music. Come for the wine and the music. So, but it is so exciting, man, to be able to for my dad, who is from North Carolina through and through, to have a wine that's made here in North Carolina. That was his priority if he was ever going to do this. And Shelton Vineyards has just been phenomenal, and they're going to let me play music. So I am really excited about this night.
You know, Kyle, you couldn't pick a better venue. I know Shelton Vineyards very well because it's in my home county, but describe what, in case people aren't used to that, what they're going to see when they get there.
Every TV show you ever watched about vineyards, double that. Okay, that's kind of it to me, because it's here in North Carolina and it's so unexpected. But when you go up to Shelton Vineyards, it's incredible. The views, the wine buildings, everything that they have up there is just first class.
You know, it's interesting, and you and I were talking before the interview, I didn't realize that your families were kind of intertwined. So what's that relationship all about?
That's the funny thing about it. When we started talking, my dad instantly said Shelton Vineyards. And you know, there's another owner, NASCAR owner, that has a vineyard that could have done a wine for my dad, but he said Shelton Vineyards. And we started talking, and I had almost forgotten. Shelco, the construction company, built Victory Junction. So our families go back almost 25 years. And to have them produce this wine for my dad and be from North Carolina, it's just, everything was just perfect. It lined up perfect. And we are really, I can't even express to you guys how excited my dad is to have this wine and to be associated with Shelton Vineyards.
Very nice really packaging cool. As well too.
Yeah,
the wine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And at least what I read was that the king tried a bunch and figured out what he liked, and advised the vintner at Shelton Vineyards and said, let's do it this way. So it's true.
I love how much the Petty family is involved in Victory Junction. Mm-hmm. Such an important camp, and I love every year they have big fundraisers and just raise a lot of money for it. It's very important to be able to give back that way.
The Shelton brothers, Ed and Charlie, who are from my home county, they had a construction company that was massive called Shelco out of Charlotte, and they built Victory Junction. So that's how those families have known each other for so long. Yeah. Because Kyle was joking at one part, I didn't show it, but he said, you know, there's another race car team owner who has a vineyard too, and he was like joking. He said, but we have to go with our long, you know.
Richard Childress.
That's right,
yep.
But they're all buddies too. Yeah.
Do you think that so you know he had to try all these wines to figure out the perfect one? Do you think it's probably the last one he picked because he's like, it probably tastes the best, right?
Right by then. Yeah.
He's tried so many of them.
So
I'll take both of those.
Whatever the king says goes.
Right, that's right.
All right. We're coming back.
The race to create a flying taxi is heating up. Startups around the world are competing to be the first. One German company says its all-electric version will help commuters and the environment.
German company Lilium says the sky's the limit with their experimental jet, billed as the first of its kind, lifting off vertically as it took to the skies in Spain this week.
It's a completely battery-powered, fully electric, vertical takeoff and landing jet airplane.
The electric taxi can carry up to 6 passengers and a pilot, and it's built to handle extreme heat while not contributing to a warming planet.
These airplanes are meant to help avoid the climate change. This is why they are fully battery-powered.
The company claims it'll provide quicker but still affordable regional trips, like New York to Philadelphia in around an hour, compared to a longer journey by car or train. Lilium is competing with rival startups to get the world's first flying taxi off the ground. Experts predict they could swarm our skies by the end of the decade, but it's really up to you.
It really is linked to whether people want to use the products and services. You know, if there's demand from people.
With plans to go global next year, creators hope demand will be sky high.
The Jetsons are here.
Yeah, for sure. The company says it's already signed deals with China, Italy, and Switzerland. So they're well on their way to doing this. We were just talking about how, how do you regulate something like that? If everybody wants a flying car, I mean,
there's no stop signs in the middle of the air. Like, how do you do that? No air traffic controller.
Well,
Well, I know one way they could do it is that they're also working, like Teslas and all that, they're working on cars that will always be talking to each other within a certain proximity. So to prevent accidents, a car will sense the other car and they'll slow them both down whether you want to or not. So I guess they could do that in the air.
I'm just surprised that it's not yellow. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I really,
yes.
like, color of a taxi.
And why isn't it talking like I said?
And why isn't it talking? And also, I didn't think it would look like that. I don't know what I thought it was going to look like, but it did not like that.
Yeah.
So.
I would do it eventually, but I let them get the bugs out, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
going-
these things are going to be falling out of the sky. Like,
right.
I mean, I don't want it to happen, obviously,
Right.
but I mean, you got to test things,
Yeah.
and it's going to happen. That's
right.
I don't know if I'd ever catch myself getting on.
About 3 years, I might.
Yeah.
After it's
Stick to the car.
As long as it's not $3,000
well,
to take it
that's
to
the problem.
the next town over.
That's true. All right, let's talk about a forecast. Great weekend coming up, everybody. No arguments here whatsoever as we see those mid-80s. I guess the better story is, yes, we're slightly cooler, but the lower humidities makes it perfect Saturday, the best day of the next 7, in my opinion. We're pretty clear out here, not a whole lot popping. You look back to the west, different story around Memphis. They're seeing some thunderstorms and showers, all that moving through, getting closer to us courtesy of the cold front. But as that front moves by, and we'll see that lower humidity start to filter in, you see the high pressure to the north, so that kind of pushes that air down on us. So the weekend, again, perfect weekend for Saturday and Sunday, 84 and 86. Rain chances are reduced as well to 20%. Monday's our best chance at 40%. Then we see that reduced rain chance again Tuesday, Wednesday. We build back to the upper 80s for most of next week with a 90 to end the week on Friday.
One of the most highly anticipated meteor showers are roaming the night skies once again. The Perseid started last Friday and will continue until September 1st. According to the American Meteorological Society, the Perseids orbit the sun once every 133 years, last passing through the inner solar system in 1992. The meteors are best seen from the northern hemisphere, which includes the U.S. after midnight and before dawn. That's according to NASA. The agency recommends finding a place with a clear view of the sky and far from bright lights.
That would be nice, because I'm going to Smith Mountain Lake tonight.
Oh.
So I'll be away from the light. That'd be fun to see.
And this is like an annual thing, right? Or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, they happen several times. I think Tim, is it more than one time a year? Buckley, do you remember?
He said yes.
He said yes.
I think is it Perseids?
Perseids?
Perseids.
Yeah. Meteor shower.
I didn't say anything.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you get away from the city and it's beautiful. Yeah. All right. We have nothing else to say. So
That's it.
We're going to take a break.
Talking taxis.
I'm not getting in that non-yellow jacket.
10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1, 10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1.
You know it could be, we're doing a mic check, you know it could be hired to.
Yeah, just here in my seat. I might have. If anybody sees a little earpiece on the ground, let me know.
Right now we're on Gallimore Dairy Road, I don't know, looking onto highway.
Time for my 2 cents, and today we're talking about road rage. Yep, I know, a lot of folks talking about the I-40 shutdown and all that. Everybody take a deep breath. But I thought I'd give you some road rage stats, because this was kind of fascinating to me. I started Googling around. And according to Men's Health, who did this extensive article on road rage, get this, which generation do you think has the most road rage? Number one, millennials at 35%. That actually was shocking to me. Gen X, 25%. Baby boomers, 24%. And then Gen Z with 7%. Big gaps there. And when do you think road rage accidents happen the most? 10 p.m. is the hour of the day that sees the most road rage accidents across the country. Isn't that unusual? 8 a.m. sees the absolute least. I would have thought the other way around. But how about the day of the week where you see more road rage incidents or accidents? Believe it or not, Sunday, Monday top the list. Wednesday is the day with the least amount of road rage accidents. And the month of the year that has the most accidents would be August. So I read all this and I thought, surprising. But if you put it all together, here's what you need to know. We're heading into August. We've got this I-40 thing. See how long that goes. So what you need to do is to not drive in August on Sunday or Monday at 10 p.m. How about that? Do that for August for me and everybody else. How about just a deep breath, everybody? We'll get through it. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Tonight, you'll want to avoid a major section of I-40 east through Greensboro.
Take a look at this map. Starting at 9 o'clock tonight, these parts of the heavily traveled interstate will close and will stay closed all weekend long, just like last weekend. It's more than a 15-mile stretch.
WFMY News 2's Hannah Jeffries is live in